Welcome to Everyday Reviews. If you're new to the channel, make sure hit that subscribe button if you like the content. Also give it a thumbs up. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back and thank you for the support. So on today's review, we're having a look again at the first electric Lexus, which is the RZ450e or RZ, depending on where you live. Now on a previous video, we went through a full walk around the inside, the outside, the styling, the range, the capacity, the technology. We did it all. If you haven't watched that, click on the link below. But on today's video, it's a little bit different. We're going to take it for a drive and we're going to share with you experience of our real world efficiency, our real world range. You know, what's it like for acceleration? How's it ride? You know, Lexus always has a very refined ride and it's quiet. You know, being all electric, does that even make it even better? And we're also going to check out the all new all-wheel drive system, which is their DIRECT4 system. So all of that coming up right after this. Who's ready for a drive? Let's go. Hit that power button. That's it. That's all you hear. Of course, it is silent. So this has a shifter that is by wire, so there's no linkage. It's just a knob. You depress it, turn for drive, and off we go. There's a slight electrical sound, which is not bad. I think that's just the electric motors working there. So all the RZs come standard with the new DIRECT4 all-wheel drive system, and that's different than if you go for the Toyota, the RZ450e, where you can get a front-wheel drive. With Lexus, it's all-wheel drive across the board. So lots of good traction. Here we go. So the system is a predominantly front-wheel drive system. You have a larger motor up front, so you get 150 kilowatts up front and 80 kilowatts for the rear. Total horsepower, 313 horsepower, which is decent, and of course, like all electric vehicles, tons of torque. So it just sucks you back. So 0 to 60 is in 5.3 seconds. But it feels quicker than that. It really does, because of all that instant torque that you get from this setup here. Since this is built on the new ETNGA electric dedicated platform, it is stiffer, it's lighter. They use a lot of high tensile steel along with lighter materials like aluminum for the hood to keep things light. And it matches up nicely with the battery packs. Of course, they are rested nice and low on this vehicle, so you get that nice planted feel of it. We have different drive modes, and one thing that I do wish is that you'd be able to change them with the button. However, you have to go through the vehicle menu to do that. It's pretty easy. You just hit the little car symbol, you hit drive mode, and then there they are. So we have 4 different modes. We have Eco, which is pretty well self-explanatory. You have normal, that's what I normally use. You have sport if you want to be a little bit more engaging. Let's hit sport for a second there, and that's going to give us the most of everything. That was to 130 kilometers an hour or so, just for that brief little second there. And we have one below that called range. So what this is, it's almost like an Eco Max. All of a sudden, we just kind of slowed right down. We are limited to around 100 kilometers an hour. It's letting us do 104. I have my foot to the floor right now. Okay, so what it does, it limits you to around 100, but if you really need the power, let's just say to get out of trouble or to pass, I've noticed here. So right now I'm pressing down at least 50% of the pedal, nothing's happening. We're just at a constant 108K, but if I really press it to the floor, you get all the power, which is really nice. If you want to go and you're around town, this is going to save you a lot. Also, it turns off the air conditioning, your climate control. So depending on what time of year, right now it's a nice day out right now. It's about 10 degrees. It's not cold. I don't have a jacket or anything on. We have it in range mode, and yeah, no problem. That will gain you about 100 kilometers more range if you turn off this climate control. Even though this has the efficient radiant heat, we talked about that in the first video. This has a heat pump and radiant heat. Heating any electric vehicle always robs range on any EV, regardless of which one you have. So let's go back into normal mode right now, and you'll see in normal mode, we still have the AC off, and we're still getting some really good range here. It's showing 418 kilometers. So what is the range? Well, it depends on the trim. The Signature base trim that we have here is rated for 354 kilometers, and that's because we have the 18-inch wheels. Remember, on the first video we talked about if you go to those 20-inch wheels, it's going to reduce your range. You're only going to get 315K. Yes, it doesn't sound like a lot, but there is some reasoning for that, and I'm kind of tossed. I have mixed feelings about it. So Lexus says with a smaller battery pack, because it's a 71 kilowatt hour battery pack, so it's definitely not the biggest. Right now, we're driving the Ford F-150 Lightning that has a 131 kilowatt hour battery pack. So it's not the highest, but it's not the lowest. It's not, the range is kind of in between. It's not like a MX-30 from Mazda range, which is fairly low. So by keeping the battery pack smaller, first of all, there's a few things you're going to accomplish. Number one, you're going to keep the cost down. Batteries are expensive. Number two, you're going to keep it smaller and lighter, because you know what, as an EV owner myself, I'm gonna say this is for the first, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 months, I had range anxiety when I got down to 200 kilometers of range, and now I'm used to it. Now I'm like, I don't know why I was so worried, because I don't drive that much. We don't drive more than 100 kilometers a day, so I don't know why you would worry about that. If you live in the city, this vehicle is going to be perfect for you. However, that range is going to vary as soon as you get into wintertime. If it's -10 out, or you're driving up huge long mountain passes, that is definitely going to affect your range, and sometimes quite dramatically as well. And yeah, so you have to make sure you can live with that. So EVs aren't for everyone. If you are doing long road trips, going up large mountain passes, I don't think an EV is right for you at all. Now, if you're doing that once a year, guess what? There's no reason to buy a vehicle that has 1,000 kilometers of range because you do that 500 kilometer drive once a year. It just makes no sense to carry all that extra weight. So I kind of get what they're throwing out there, but of course, everybody wants more. So there is a compromise. I do like the fact that, lighter is always better for efficiency and for performance. Now, speaking of performance, this has the new DIRECT4 all-wheel drive system. So we have 2 e-axles, one in the front, one in the back. And this system, not only is it great for bad weather, but it can transfer 100% of available torque either to the front or the back, which is very, very nice. And being that they're electric motors opposed to relying on a gasoline engine to build up that torque, that electronic torque is so instant that it's just seamless. It's always working and keeping you, on the road for handling wise, first of all, traction wise, but also for comfort. This system will work in conjunction with G sensors, your steering input, your acceleration, braking, and it will also control the brakes and the torque ever so slightly, but it'll help you maintain the attitude of the car. So if you're going to do some hard braking, it's going to minimize the dive that you have, and that makes it nicer for the passengers. Same goes for acceleration. Instead of that front end going up a lot, it's going to keep it more level, and Also, what's going to help with that is this has the new frequency reactive dampers in the back as well. You put that all together and you have a really solid package. Of course, it's really quiet in here, and that's very important. Lexus has always been so good for smoothness and cabin comfort and the quietness, and this new electric car is no different. Absolutely, it's probably even better. Charging is handled by the onboard 6.6 kilowatt hour charger, and that'll bring this up from 0 to 100% on a level 2 charger in 10 hours. If you go for the level 3 up to 80%, it's going to take you a half hour, and that's another benefit of having a smaller battery as well. That F-150 Lightning that I have right now, that battery pack is so large, even my level 2 charger at home, it'll take 20 hours to go from 0 to 100% on that, because it's about double the size of this battery. So do you need that type of range, and do you want to carry all of that extra weight if you don't use it? The battery is also cooled and heated, and Lexus claims that over 10 years of use, you will not have more than 10% of degradation for this battery pack. So that's a lot of years of driving your new Lexus EV. As for real world efficiency, we've been driving this for the day. That's all we have it for. But I've been in and out of normal and sport a little bit, but mainly normal. And I have the AC off, which I mentioned, it increases your range. So obviously it makes it more efficient if your range is increasing. We are averaging about 20 kilowatt hours per 100K, and that is fairly decent for sure. That is really good. Our Ioniq 5, we have even a higher average than that. So yeah, that is the real world efficiency of that. One thing that the RZ does not have, which is no big deal to me, but some people do like it, this does not have one pedal driving. So if you're a fan of that, this does not have it. You can adjust the regen with the paddles behind the steering wheel, but it won't completely stop the vehicle for you. But this does have the latest Safety Sense 3.0, so you have adaptive cruise at any speed, so you can even do stop and go, which is really nice. You have automatic braking, we have blind spot monitoring, lane departure, we got all of that stuff. So is there an RZ in your future? What do you think of this vehicle? Leave a comment below. Well, I think it all depends on your needs, your driving habits. I think Lexus has done a very good job. I love the styling of it. I think they've done the best out of the three examples of the BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra for sure. Hands down the winner right there. The interior, really refined. Love the new Lexus interface. It's comfortable. We got really good visibility here. Decent room for sure for the rear passengers, that nice flat floor, and cargo room is quite impressive as well. So you get the whole package. I think the range, it could be improved on a little bit, but depending on where you live, if it's not wintertime, you're gonna get some really good range if you don't need that climate control on. So it all depends where you live. And yeah, if you are driving hundreds and hundreds of kilometers or miles a day, or going up big mountain passes on a regular basis, then this is probably not going to be the vehicle for you. In fact, no EVs are going to be the right vehicle for you if that's the case, if you don't want to have the hassle of stopping to charge. If you just want a good all-around EV with that refined Lexus ride and comfort, this is not going to disappoint at all. I'm pretty sure whether you're a new Lexus owner or you've been with the brand for a long time, you won't be disappointed in this vehicle at all. It has everything that a Lexus should have. If you do need more range though, guess what? They got you covered there, because we even tested that new RX450h Plus, which is their plug-in hybrid for the Lexus RX. That's coming out soon. So if you want to have lots of range and you want to have a taste of that EV experience, that's a really good option for you as well. So that's it from the new RZ. Hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.